Instagram on. It's checking the connection. So we're live on Instagram as well, hopefully. Let's just take a moment just to get in a good standing position. Feet a little bit wider than hip width, most probably about shoulder width apart, and just a little bit of give in the knees so you feel grounded, pretty stable and strong through the legs. Just take a moment to balance. You just might want to move really subtly forwards and backwards a little bit. I can just see there's one more person trying to get on, so just find your balance. I'll let Sally in there. Focus on now the upper body, so the rib cage. And there's a lot going on in the rib cage. It's quite a heavy area. It's quite an important area because it's got your heart in there, it's got your lungs in there, it's got our diaphragm, all of the organs. So let's just balance our rib cage on top of the pelvis. So what you might want to do is just explore a little bit. What happens if I tilt my rib cage that way a little bit? Again, without putting too much pressure on the lower back, just gentle movement and tilt it forward a little bit, and then just find a point where it feels comfortable. The lower back feels nice and relaxed and no tension in the lower back. And then just give your head a little bit of a nod, and you're just balancing the head on top of the spine. And a really good visualization in this standing position is to connect from a point just below the belly button in towards the spine in Tai Chi. That point is called the lower Dan Qian. And we're going to connect that point to the ground. So you're grounded and stable and strong from this point downwards. And at the same time, you're going to connect that point through the torso, through the crown of the head to the sky. So actually from this point, you're really creating that energy upwards through the spine. So we're connecting to the earth and to the sky. So we're really getting that balance, earth and sky. This sets our rib cage and our breathing muscles in a great position to breathe most efficiently. Our head's balanced neatly on the top of the spine. Again, we open up the airways just to allow the breath into the body. So just in that standing posture, keeping the lips lightly together, the tongue resting just gently on the roof of the mouth. We're just going to notice the physical sensation in the nostrils, in the nasal cavity, and just tune in with the breath and just notice the physical sensation of that slightly cooler air coming in through the nose and slightly warmer leaving. So we're just checking in, we're just noticing, not changing anything. Just bringing awareness to the breath. Slightly cooler air coming in through the nose. And can you notice as you breathe out slightly warmer air leaving the body? Very, very simple place to notice that physical sensation. And just follow the breath however it is for you at this moment in time. If you need to move a little bit, give your toes a little bit of a wiggle, give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. So anywhere where you feel unnecessary stress and strain, just move around a little bit and then come back to that really nice, grounded, stable and strong position, connecting earth to the sky. And now we're just going to bring some movement into the practice. So we're just going to bring our arms up, raise our arms up. You can raise the gaze if you like to look above, and then palms down towards the ground. Now, most of you have been to the class before. This is smooth, fluid, efficient movement. We're not counting reps. We're not starting and stopping. It is a continuous, flowing movement. And just for the minute, we just focus on the movement. So you're raising your arms up and then palms down to the ground. And up. And keep doing that, so keep that nice smooth fluid movement going. And I'd like you to bring your attention to the back of the body now, because we're thinking front of the body, you're thinking hands and fingers and arms, but actually forget about the arms and bring your attention to the back of the body. So just awareness into the back of the body. And keep that movement flowing. We always see ourselves in the mirrors. We always look at ourselves. We can see the front of our body. We can literally look down and see the front of our body. We very, very rarely consider the back of our body. So get your brain, get your thoughts, get your thinking into the back of the body as you're doing this really smooth, easy, fluid movement. And now we're just going to coordinate the breath with the movement. So as we start to bring our arms up, you're breathing in. And as we get to the top and bring our palms down, you're breathing out. But I want you to keep the actual volume of air that you're taking into the body the same as you were doing before we started to focus on the breath. So I'm not suddenly starting to take big breaths in. I'm literally just breathing in as my arms raise up. And then out as I bring my arms or my palms down. And I'm breathing in. And I'm breathing out. All still easy, in and out, through the nose. Should be no sound. Just calm, soft, easy breathing. Keep that movement going. And now as you're breathing, bring your attention again to the back of the body. So as I'm breathing in across the back of the body. So the breath is going deep into the back of the body. So keep that movement going, breathing into the back of the body. Breath into the back of the body as you breathe in. And breathe in. And now just let the arms rest by the sides. And bring the feet together. Just give the hands a little bit of a shake and a little bit of a rub. And the ankles a little bit of a shake. And we're going to get yourself down safely onto a mat. So if you're comfortable just kneeling, so you're just kneeling, standing, kneeling. Just have a quick swig of water. Have a drink if anybody needs a drink. And then we're going to come down onto all fours. So you have your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath the hips. Make sure that they're not wide. So you're literally, if I show you from the front, your knees are just directly underneath your hips. And if I show you from the side, again, the knees are directly underneath the hips. If you need anything to kneel on, if you just need a little bit more cushioning, if you've got any knee issues, then just grab something to kneel on. Our spine stays in that neutral position. So neutral just means we have that natural little bit of a curve at the base of the spine, and everybody's slightly different, so just watch that you have that naturally little bit of a curve at the base of the spine. Watch that your shoulders don't crunch up to your ears or your head drop down. So nice and strong through the arms. And just take a moment, again, just to bring the attention back to the breath. So you've got your lips lightly together. You've got the tongue resting gently on the roof of your mouth. And again, you can notice that physical sensation of the slightly cooler air coming in through the nose, slightly warmer leaving. Slightly cooler air coming in through the nose and slightly warmer leaving. And again, this is a great position to actually bring that attention to breathing into the back of the body. So feel as you breathe in, creating space across the back of the body, breathing into the back of the ribs. Feel the movement of the rib cage. So actually there's quite a lot of work going on in this position. Even though we're just holding a position, there's still quite a lot of energy going on in muscles working to actually keep you balanced and stable in this position. So breathing into the back of the body. See if you can get that, feel that rib cage moving at the back of the body, expanding and contracting. And just following the breath, just do easy rocking movements forwards and backwards. And it doesn't matter which way you rock, so you could breathe in as you rock forwards and breathe out as you rock backwards, or vice versa. But the movement, I really want you just to focus on the movement following the breath. And still getting that expansion of the rib cage. So that subtle expansion across the back of the rib cage, the ribs moving out to the side as you breathe in. And then returning as you breathe out. If you notice you are holding the breath, then stop the movement. See if you can really sense that movement literally following the breath. If you imagine sort of like a branch blowing in the breeze, and the branch is moving with the air, with the breeze. So this is the same thing, as your movement is following the breath. So if the breath is a little bit chaotic, your movement will be chaotic. If your breath is smooth and rhythmical, then we can create the movement, allow the movement to be smooth, rhythmical. There's quite a lot of work going on through the upper body, through the wrists. This is a strength training. And if it does get to that point where the breath starts to really change or get really chaotic, or you start to really increase the volume, then just stop and take a little rest. If you get your wrists aching a little bit, just come up to a kneeling position. Just give your wrists a little bit of a shake out. So allowing the breath to be natural again. So it doesn't have to be a really long exhale or a long inhale. Just let that movement follow the breath. And take a rest there. We're going to come back we're going to come into a sitting position, and then we're going to take our time just to come onto the back. Again, if you need a little cushion or anything just to support the back of the head, that's fine. And then we're going to lay on the mat, keeping the feet in standing position. So just the feet and the palms of the hands just resting on the ground. And again, just take your time, just take a moment. Lengthen out the spine. So the base of the skull is connected to the ground. You feel the pelvis and the sacrum connected to the ground, your feet connected to the ground, shoulder blades, elbows. Really feel grounded again and supported by the ground. And just tune into the breath. Again, lips lightly together, tongue resting on the roof of the mouth. Notice that physical sensation. Slightly cooler air coming in through the nose. Slightly warmer leaving. Just following, just tuning in with the breath. Let the breath calm. And now again, bring your attention to the back of the body, the lower ribs at the back of the body, so you can really feel the back of the body into the ground. So as you breathe in, really get that sense of breadth across the back of the body. So you're almost pushing, without forcing, the lower ribs, the back, towards the ground. Quite often when we're in this position on the floor, we put again all of the focus onto the belly, because it's very easy to lay here and just allow the belly to expand and contract, which is great. There's nothing wrong in that, because as the diaphragm is coming down, as the diaphragm is contracting, it's pushing the belly upwards. And in this laying posture and this supine posture on the floor, you don't have to do any support you don't have to do any abdominal support to keep the spine supported. So you can just allow the belly to rise and fall, which is good. But we can then put too much focus on the belly, and we can start using the belly or using the abdominals to breathe in. But if you just change the focus to the back of the body again, the belly will still rise a little bit, the tummy will still rise a little bit, but it's not forced rising. So as you breathe in, you're breathing into the back of the body, the belly's rising. And as you breathe out, the ribs are coming back in and the belly's just dropping, because the diaphragm is coming back into that resting posture. So now what we'll do is add a little bit of movement. So we're going to bring our focus to the hips and the knees and the legs and the feet. And we're just going to walk the feet out so they're about hip width apart, shoulder width apart. So if you're on a mat, it's most probably the edge of the mat. And you're going to bring your palms facing upwards towards the sky. And what I'd like you to do is just gently push in with the forearm and the back of the right hand. And as you do so, just rock or roll the knees to the left side of the body. And then push from the right. And then you're just going to roll the knees to the other side of the body. So as you push one side, it's a bit like windscreen wipers, the knees just roll to the other side. Just let the head and the spine follow, but the movement is coming from just a little push with the back of the arm and then the roll. Be aware of the ankles as well, so the feet aren't just blocks. There is movement, rotation through the ankles, through the hips. So keep that movement going, and now just bring the attention to the breath. So how are you breathing with this movement? Can you keep your breathing smooth, rhythmical, calm? In and out through the nose. Can you breathe with the movement, or is the rhythm of your breath different to the rhythm of the movement?
Is there any point where you hold the breath? And then bring the knees back to pointing towards the sky, and just bring your feet a little bit closer together. And then you can just turn your palms down if that feels more comfortable, and just let the breath settle. So the idea of these little movement practices is really just to do some simple movements, but just really give yourself the opportunity to be aware of how you're breathing when when you're doing these movements. Just give yourself a moment to let the breath calm and settle. And then in your own time, roll to whichever side is you've got more space on, and then come up just into a sitting posture, comfortable sitting position. Nice and tall through the spine. And we're just going to finish off with a little bit of control of the breath rather than following the breath, because all of the practices we've just done, we've followed the breath. But we're just going to finish off with adding an extended pause at the end of a normal out breath. So we tune in with the breath, so exactly the same as we've done, just lips lightly together, tongue resting on the roof of the mouth. Following that slightly cooler air coming in through the nose, slightly warmer air leaving. And on the next breath, what I would like you to do is at the end of that normal out breath, just extend the pause at the end of that normal out breath for 5 seconds. So you just normal breath in, normal breath out, hold, 2, 3, 4. 5, and then normal breath in again. Let the breath settle. We'll do that again. Normal breath in, normal breath out in your own time. At the end of that out breath, extend 2, 3, 4, 5. Normal breath in again. Keep tall through the spine. One more time, in your own time, a normal breath in, a normal breath out. We're just extending 2, 3, 4, 5, and then allow that normal breath in again. Excellent. Once again, that goes very, very quickly. Hope you enjoyed that session. Hope it's given you a little bit of focus, made you a little bit clearer in your mind. As usual, this will be on the online portal that you can watch the playback of it. This coming Saturday, it starts the next series of my Run with Ease workshops. So I know a lot of you have done those. That starts again this Saturday. I'm starting a new 3-week class on the 1st of August, which I'm calling Move with Ease. So rather than just focusing on running, I'm going to look more at movement, breath, so general functional movement, really working on the squats, the press ups, so basic functional movement that we need for everyday life. So it's very much like the Thursday free class, but it's just going to be a course over a 3-week period. So I'll put more details of that on the website, because it's not on the website at the minute. Thanks very much for your time and your attention, and I will see you hopefully next week. Have a good day, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll end that one. Make sure I end all of the sessions.